After 5 preliminary bouts, the Aussies headed into London for the eagerly awaited Test Series opener against the Lions, who have been coached by Ellery Hanley for the first time. That late October afternoon produced one of the most wonderful days in the history of British Rugby League.
What a day for Mal Meninga as well.
I imagine through some of the Australian minds, the thought 4 years ago, the first test, this corresponding match, 19-12 losers. And since then, England have also gone very close in the World Cup and did win a test in Melbourne in 1992. So they know they're up against it.
Pete, I don't think they're hopeless here. Great Britain have got a good side. In front of this crowd, I'll tell you, they will be pumped. I saw them an hour ago do a lap, waving to the crowd. They're really pumped up for this one. I don't think they're without a chance. If Martin Afai decides to have a dig, gets involved, he's the fastest man on the pitch. You can see Sean Edwards maybe kicking for him. Ellery Hanley there in his debut as Great Britain coach after taking over from Malcolm really a month ago. So it's just going to be a fantastic game of rugby league.
Well, we see Sean Edwards leading out the Great Britain side. Very important that his kicking game is strong. The kicking 4 years ago here, all 3 tries were scored from kicks. I think the short chip kick will be very important, and Edwards will lead the way there. There's Mal Meninga leading out the Australians. And as the two sides take the field, let's now go to Ray Warren.
Well, thank you, Peter. And a magnificent sight, as you've seen via the BBC pictures. And thousands of rugby league fans, particularly from the north of England, have come down to see a magic moment in sport, a magic moment in rugby league, and it has already commenced with the great Cliff Richard. I was only thinking to myself, and talking about greatness, Mal Meninga, a brief picture of him. We'll talk about him, of course, during the day. Rugby league entertainment, from Tina Turner to Olivia Newton-John to Cliff Richard. Don't tell me this game is going backwards.
And there's the kick-off to the first test at Wembley. Straight to the captain, Edwards, and the return is on through Farrell. Look at Australia swarming in. Daly and Clyde. 5 of the Australians debutants at Wembley. 7 metres inside their own 20-metre line. And the big number 8 for Great Britain, Carl Harrison, who played so well for Halifax. Now Joint. Harrison again. Harrigan standing back as Roberts made that big tackle. And Edwards now. The theme of their success at Wembley has been to get their game based on a very good kicking game. And if Great Britain are to upset Australia, it will come from that. Eddinghausen now. 5 tries on the tour so far. Walters serves it up, and Clyde, who got smashed here in the World Cup in 1992. They didn't get a chance to see Bradley Clyde. Now Harrigan with a storming run. They're 45 out from the Great Britain line as the hooker gets offside at marker, and Daly puts it down into the corner. And the nuggety winger Jason Robinson comes back and away to be met by Daly, who's making his Wembley debut today. And the tackle was Renoff.
Phil Clark nearly coming up with the first mistake there. Great start from Laurie Daly. Came up with the first tackle of the game, a very strong one. And I think we'll find that he will take on a lot of the role in the Australian kicking game. Alan Langer not particularly long, so Daly will be kicking for distance and field position.
Played by Darryl Powell. It's gone to the blind, and it's tackled there. The Great Britain number 12, Andrew Farrell. Back and onto the boot of Edwards once more. He's the most capped Great Britain player and the greatest achiever out there in this team today, Sean Edwards. Rewarded with the captaincy. He hasn't captained Great Britain for 2 years. Now Wendell Sailor. The crowd, they've come to love him out here, but I tend to think they hate him today. Walters it is. And there's an obvious penalty. And Graham Annesley rules correctly on it.
Just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, it looks as though fatigue has taken hold as Fittler gets a pass back to Meninga. Second phase play now. Steve Walters getting involved.
Well, I suppose with Harrigan, Peter, he didn't play for 6 weeks and then this is his 3rd game in 10 days, so you might be on the mark there.
Daly now, Renouf. Just had to hesitate to go back for the pass. Took a little bit of the impetus away from Renouf. As it comes on for Langer, Serenen's off one hip and the other fellow, Roberts, off the other. But they wait for Roberts and put him away.
Well, Daly's called for the football again. Langer's now slotted into the first receiver.
Langer now pushing it on for Daly. Then Meninga. Here's a chance. Clyde. Eddinghausen. Oh! Clyde has been smashed.
Oh, he's got to go.
High by Edwards. Edwards got him across the nose.
He's gone.
He sent him off. Edwards has been sent. The English captain has been sent off.
Yeah, good decision there too by Annesley. He doesn't muck around. Off he goes, and he deserves it. He's kidding with that. Clyde still down, right around the choppers, that one. Could have gone anywhere on Clyde.
Yeah, that's broken nose territory, that one. Did not miss him at all. It's disappointing for Shaun Edwards. We know how much he was looking forward to leading the Great Britain side. But when it's a send-off offence, it is a send-off offence. And the action we just saw from Shaun Edwards falls into that category.
Well, Graham Annesley has just made one of the toughest decisions that a referee could ever hope to make in a test match, Australia and England, or Great Britain at Wembley. He has had to send the captain, Shaun Edwards, off. Only 2 men sent off at Wembley before. Hines in 71, Ayres in 93.
Well, here we see, and that's just straight across the nose.
It doesn't come any more deliberate than that. So for mine, you can see the pain on Bradley Clyde's face even there. He's still groggy. You know, this could cost Australia a player. He's very, very sick.
And you can see by the way that he fell. Look at that, it's sickening stuff.
Maybe it was a pass you'd expect later in the game as Brad Clyde comes back on. Eddinghausen crosses the halfway. 2-0 in favour of Great Britain, the Lions. Fettler is put away, 40 metres out. Ferner goes off as Clyde goes on, and that does not classify as a replacement. It's away now for Langer, and across the back, Daly, Meninga. And they're just beyond the 30-metre line. Intense first half, dramatic at times. And just the 2 points on the board off the boot of Jonathan Davis. The last for Langer. High. Davis underneath it. Crossbar didn't help, but it goes over the dead ball line.
Yeah, great kick by Alan Langer. When you put those balls up, they've got to have some height. That had plenty.
Well, this will be an interesting ruling here because it's a scrum, and the team in the attacking region should get the feed. I've got a feeling that he's given it to the Great Britain side. Well, I question that ruling. It's away for Hunt. Offia, he's got some daylight. Pulled down by Mullins. Goulding. Across for Clark. Into the hands of Betts. Now for Davis. Davis to the 20-metre line. Mullins is after him. And Davis, he scores. Sensational try.
Well, great work from Great Britain, starting from the scrum win. Bobby Goulding setting up an attacking raid on the left-hand side to Alan Hunt and Martin Offia. And then a brilliant backline move, the big dummy from Jonathan Davis. Hook, line and sinker, the backline from the Australians fell for it. And then enough speed to stay on the outside of Brett Mullins and score in the corner. They've looked more enthusiastic. They've looked a little bit faster at times. Brad Fittler couldn't get across in time, and Renouf stayed on the outside.
Wow, what a great try to Great Britain. 12 men, they're up against it, and they're playing some very good football. Nice ball from Dennis Betts. 3-on-2, the Australians there. Fittler couldn't foot it with Davis. He hasn't been in the game, Davis. All of a sudden he kicked a goal, then runs 40 metres to score a wonderful, wonderful try here at Wembley.
And I've got to say that I thought that Jonathan Davis had slowed down over the last couple of seasons, but this one run alone has shown that he can still mix it with the best of them in the speed department.
6-0 in favour of the home side. A try for Davis after 25. Harrigan now, or Roberts that is. Walters at acting half. Play will come to the left and Langer runs with Walters, who goes himself, and Walters contributes a further 8 or 9 metres. This is the last. Fittler is looking for it. Langer puts the kick over, looking for Saylor, but it's dead. It's over the dead ball line. Kick from Alan Langer with too much weight on it. Australia, they're not back to 10, and England goes for Martin Offia, but he's put down.
And in 10 seconds, we've just seen the difference between these two football teams at the moment. The enthusiasm for the quick restart from Great Britain to get their most dangerous attacking weapon involved in Martin Offia. And the Australians, they hadn't got back and reacted.
Comment on the sidelines from Alex Murphy.
Well, just looking at this game down here, there seems to be a big problem with Laurie Daly. He looks as though he's got a corky leg and he's just limping all over the field. But Alan Langer's having one hell of a time down here. He's looking for runners and there is nobody about.
Now they're 40 metres out from the Great Britain line as the ball turned over possession against the run of play. Daly using Fittler. Great pass by Fittler. Mullins sees an opening. Mullins is striding out. Mullins is going for the corner, but pulled down by Robinson and by Davis. Now they need to quick play the ball. It's with Wendell Saylor. Saylor goes across the ground and held by Dennis Betts. Still they're 10 metres out. Australia needing a converted try to level. Walters on for Langer. Langer out the back. It's with Daly. They got 3-on-2. Meninga can't take it. It's with Great Britain now. 15 out from their line. What a match we're seeing here. This is Hunt.
Yeah, this is Test Rugby League at its best. The pressure from Offia forced the mistake from Meninga. Eddinghausen was unmarked on the outside. And again, Great Britain repel the Australian attack. And now answering kind. Bobby Goulding, well taken by Ian Roberts high. Paul Harrigan low.
Sensible work by Goulding, everything he's done. It's been percentage stuff. This is the time to kick. This is the time to run. And Goulding has taken all the right options. Here he is again. The kick going down to the goal line for Mullins, who's just made a long run. Eddinghausen telling him to go to Wendell Saylor's wing. That's where Mullins goes, and he's tackled 20 metres out from his line. Goulding on camera having a fine game. Langer, a dummy half now as the play the ball is slowed up somewhat. Some of these Australians, when they get up to play the ball, they're more worried about the tackler and the marker than getting a quick play the ball on.
There's some movement on the bench from the Australians now as Ian Roberts nearly gets through the front line. Dean Pay in 16 coming to the sidelines and will be into the fray very, very shortly. Fatty, I was just wondering, what about Ricky Stewart? Would he be tempted to get him out there?
Well, I think he's trying his little heart out, Alfie, as Fittler is finding some space up the middle.
Fittler with the big step. Langer's with him. Langer, what a tackle by Davis. Well, Davis is having a 10 out of 10 here. It's gone away from Harrigan on. It's with Walters, the last tackle. Daly for Meninga. Meninga kicks looking for Eddinghausen, but it goes dead in goal.
But that Fittler break, Brad Fittler, when he threw the ball to Langer, he looked up and there was no one in front of him. Davis had made his decision to go for Langer, leaving Fittler on his own. Penalty now to Australia. Must be for one of the Australians being held back.
Well, the penalty's been given where the ball landed off the boot of Meninga, so Meninga must have been interfered with after he kicked the ball. That's the way I would read it.
Well,
they take the tap now and they come across.
Paul Sirenan's left the field, Ray.
Roberts gets it on. It's with Langer. There's a chance here for the green and golds. Langer is put down. 11 out, centre of the ground. They're short on troops on the left as they try to mark up one-on-one. Walters away for a big run by Harrigan. Harrigan straining to get to the line but pulled down. Walters now selectively looks around, looking for Alan Langer to give him a call. Langer's with it now. Daly is with it. Daly now gets a decoy run from Pay. It's with Renouf, or Ferner it was. Renouf is tackled. They lose ground. 12 metres out from the Great Britain line, a great opportunity, but Great Britain seem to be marking up much better now. They've got their defence line organised. Sailor, he'll play the ball. 9 metres out from the line. Walters a dummy half, uses Langer. They go wide to the right, and across there they go. And it is Dean Pay who's put away. The last tackle is with us now. Langer, the grubbing kick, and he loses the ball. Chris Joint, a chance was there for Langer. Just wondering which way Annesley has ruled here. So what great defence it was by Great Britain.
You think they've got 14 out there, not 12. There's the mistake by Joint. Langer couldn't pick the ball up and dive over, but it will be an Australian feed, so more pressure. It looks as though they've sorted something out in the back line here. Some move, maybe Mal Meninga getting involved.
Australia winning the scrum. Daly. Oh,
great.
Daly, he's away from Clark's tackle. Clark came up and tried to put Daly out of it. Daly playing the ball now, 10 metres out from the line. Daly is injured in the back play. Roberts gets it away, a flick pass out for Mullins. Mullins taken by Jackson. 10-metre line, right in the centre of the park. Danger for Great Britain. Walters across. Harrigan tries to push off a tackler. Hunt comes in to combine. He and Goulding put him away.
He looks like he's gone, Laurie Daly. A couple of tackles left. He's out of the play.
Fittler now, across and the pass. Taken on the bounce by Langer. Given to David Furner. Oh, Furner looked back in field. He had 2 men. 2-on-1 on the left. Furner to play it. This is the 4th tackle. Daly, as you can see, is hunched over, and the slowing of the play the ball. It's now with Fittler, and Fittler dummies to Langer. Back across the line to Harrigan. Harrigan to Eddinghausen. They're going out to Daly. Daly really isn't fit enough to run, but he's going to try. Daly, he gets it back for Fittler. Fittler, and he can't get it down. It's with Eddinghausen. He can't handle Great Britain. Oh, tremendous play.
Turn it up. What about this Great Britain defence? Nothing short of sensational. Gutsy, a try for all you like here. Brad Fittler's going for the football, the try line there. Connolly and Offia pull him back, the flick back out the back there, and E.T. then. The fumbling happens, and what's Annesley ruled here? Should be a Great Britain ball.
Jonathan Davis again coming up with a big play, getting on the loose ball. And there's Ricky Stewart taking the tracksuit top off.
Well, this is probably the best test match I think I've ever seen. There's been some mistakes, but they have to come when you're playing the game at this level, at this intense level. 6-0, 12 men. That's what test football is all about. A battle of the fittest, and hopefully the smartest on the day. They go wide for Renouf to combine with Meninga. Sailor's outside, Renouf's inside, and Clark makes the tackle. Sailor a dummy half. Stewart angling in behind the play the ball. Furner. 6-0, no change to the half-time score. Made possible for Great Britain by Jonathan Davis. Just outside the 20-metre line. Is this the opportunity Australia's been working for? Langer, Stewart, they work together. And put down and tackled is Harrigan. Walters again, runs himself from dummy half. And Walters is put away, 15 out from the line. Eddinghausen a dummy half. Langer at first receiver. Stewart at second. Furness coming up. Meninga gives it on. Renouf is with it. Renouf the dummy. And the try. Renouf. He gets it down. Australia on the board, but trailing 6-4.
And there it was. Great Britain have had 12 men for about 40 or 50 minutes, and finally taken its toll as Renouf still down after scoring the try. And great try to Australia. They haven't looked like scoring for much of the game, but there they just had the overlap, and the good short passing was what it was all about. Stewart to Meninga, simple draw and pass there, 2-on-1, and Renouf too much speed for the Great Britain cover.
Yes, eventually the Great Britain team have got to tire. And on that occasion, you see some knees come over the cross on Steve Renouf's back there, which was a little nasty, hopefully unintended. But this is just a nice backline move there. You see Jason Robinson. He's caught in no man's land. Renouf dives over the top, and there's the set of knees coming in. Good ball from Mal Meninga, putting Renouf into space. The dummy from Renouf. He's got a bit of work to do to get through Connolly, then over the top of Robinson.
Australia winning the scrum. Is this their last hope? And Renouf put away 40 metres out from his line. Bateman one tackler, Clark the other. And now Fittler, the kick and the hope of the regather. But the ball handball down to Connolly. And Connolly is eventually secured by Furner. Robinson now running at the big forwards, looking to get around them. Tackle made by Paul Harrigan. Robinson in the centre of the park. Offia finding Betts. Oh, Stewart's tackle looked high. A groan from the crowd. Jackson, and he's put down again by Harrigan and Stewart with Roberts underneath. The hooter must be only seconds away as Cassidy runs into the shoulder of Dean Pay. There it is! The test match is over at Wembley. Great Britain, the Lions, have beaten Australia 8 points to 4 to get away to a 1-0 lead in their quest to wrest the Ashes back. 21 years Australia has held them. Is this the turn of the tide we're watching? Australians...
Beware the wounded kangaroo. That message was amplified loud and clear